Hi, welcome back. I am so glad that you came to visit with me today. So here we are, video number 2. Don't worry, I won't be counting them all. So I got a lot of feedback from my first video, and thank you. I appreciate it so very much. A lot of people, the prevailing comment was that they needed to hear that today. And you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're not getting that in your life, because you deserve to. You deserve every day to have someone tell you how special you are, how important you are. And I will say it again, you were chosen to be in this world. We aren't from a cookie cutter factory. We're not all the same. We make up this world, and every single person has something to contribute. And what I want to talk about today is letting people know that. And there's something that I do. I've done it for years and years on people's birthdays. Growing up, my birthday, well, it wasn't always celebrated because I'm born on the last day of the month. And we didn't have a lot of money when I was growing up. So I always heard, tomorrow's rent day, so we'll celebrate your birthday in a week or two. So when I got older, I was determined to make everybody's birthday special. And one day, and don't get me wrong, my parents tried, they always made it up to me. Don't even think about that. But one day I was watching Touched by an Angel, and I love Touched by an Angel. I really do. And I had the pleasure one day of meeting Roma Downey. She came to the city I live in Canada, to sign her Butterfly book. I recommend this book highly. And in a minute, I will tell you a special story about that book and how it spoke to me. So in that, there was an episode, and I remember Phylicia Rashad was in it. And I love Phylicia Rashad. She is just one of the classiest women I've ever seen on TV. So is her sister, Debbie Allen. And in it, the theme was, I'm glad you were born. And I remember thinking, oh, that's so nice to hear. I make it a point, if I write out birthday cards, or if I'm talking to someone, or even if I am on Facebook wishing a happy birthday, I try to say, I'm glad you were born. I also try to remind people that they make a difference in this world. And that to me is just so important. People need to know they matter and that they make the world a better place. I promise I will get the hang of staying in soft-spoken. I'm not even attempting whispering yet, but I do tend to get a little excited, and I am a natural redhead, even though I went blonde 2 days ago, and I'm quite liking it, to be honest. Another thing that so I was telling you about the Roma Downey. When my mother passed away, it was very, very hard. My father passed away quite young. He was only 63. My mother passed away, and that was in 2004. My mother passed away in 2017. She went in the hospital thinking she had pneumonia, and it was stage 4 lung cancer, and she passed 5 weeks later. My mother, very faithful woman, was at peace with herself. She really was. She was able to help. She helped us get through it, really. But one of the things I promised her a beautiful death. We had pictures up, we played music, we told stories that made us laugh, anything we could do that would make her feel love. We just wanted love everywhere. And I asked her what songs that she wanted at her funeral, because growing up, music was always so very, very important in my family. And she said to me, she named a few hymns and Bridge Over Troubled Water, but she goes, you make sure, and when the finger came out, you listened, you make sure you'll never walk alone. Now, I played that song for her over and over the night that she passed. And apparently we found out months later I played the wrong version. She wanted Elvis, but I was playing Jerry and the Pacemakers, but I'm sure she forgives me. And I love that song, I really do. So when I bought, and it was very shortly after that, I found out that Roma Downey was coming to the bookstore downtown from where I live. I asked my brother if he wanted to come, and he said yes, and my daughter went as well. So we all had copies of her book, Butterflies. When I opened the book, in the middle of the book was all of the words to You'll Never Walk Alone. So I took that as a sign. I believe wholeheartedly in signs. A little bit more about me, and I'll show you another way that I see signs. And you just need to look for them, you know. I'm not saying that, you know, someone will speak in your ear. If they do, great for you, but that's not what happened to me. When my father was diagnosed, he was diagnosed in May and he died in July of colon cancer, a very preventable death. So please get those colonoscopies, people. Nobody needs to die of embarrassment. It's ridiculous. So we had been trying to have a baby, my husband and I, for quite some time. And I won't go into all of it, but when we started getting fertility help, my first pregnancy ended in a ruptured ectopic, and I lost a tube and had to have emergency surgery. I was able to get pregnant very, very close to that again, and I had twins. I miscarried twins, one on a Friday, one on a Monday, at almost 12 weeks. Then I started taking fertility drugs, and we always refer to it as the mob, and because we didn't know, and twins run in my family anyways, so I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever happens, happens. At that time, my dad was diagnosed, and he had to have surgery. His surgery was scheduled for the Friday, and it was bumped. The surgeon was too tired, which is fine with me. Don't operate when you're tired. And I promise this does have a happy-ish ending. So his surgery was bumped to the Monday. On the Saturday, the following day, we went to his house, and I miscarried. And I couldn't tell him he was going into surgery, right? And he was talking about being here for the mob, and I'm like, I have to keep this quiet. So my husband and I didn't tell anyone. On the Monday, he went into surgery, and it was a success. They were able to remove the tumor. They weren't able to remove all of the cancer. It had spread too far at that point. But he wasn't in pain. And it was also my birthday, and I had to tell my mom that I had lost the baby. So when my father came out, my mom said, I have to tell you something. And he goes, I know. I knew on Saturday. I could tell the look on her face. In July, we were talking to my dad, and we would take him in the wheelchair around the apartment building and looking at the people's gardens. And that's where I'm saying blessings are everywhere. People have a chance to do good for others everywhere. There were two gentlemen together, and they had the most beautiful garden on the first floor of their building, and they kind of wondered why my dad was going back and forth. So they came out and they're like, can we help you? And they were a little guarded. And when my mom said, you know, my husband's very ill, and your garden makes him happy, they said, you come whenever you want. And the next time they went there, there was a little pot of flowers for him to take home on his bedside. A very simple gesture, but it meant the world. So you don't have to do a lot. You don't have to spend money just to show people, I see you, I care about you. Anyways, before he passed, he said to me, I'm going to find your baby up there and send it to you. And I went, okay, Dad. And we joked about, sorry, I ruined your birthday. And I said, you didn't ruin my birthday. However, I did tell my husband, I never want to celebrate my birthday again. I said, you know what? I have no luck with birthdays. Forget about it. So 1 year later, on my birthday, actually, let me go back, May 30th. My birthday is May 31st. May 30th, my husband gave me a box. And he's very much, don't open gifts beforehand, don't snoop. And I'm a snooper. I have tools to open gifts. I'm one of those people. I read the last page of books too. So my husband gave me this box and he goes, I want you to open it. And I'm like, okay, so I did. And it was quitting smoking, Nicorette gum and patches and everything. And I went, I don't smoke, you do. He goes, yes, I'm quitting. I said, no, 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 you can't quit for me. You have to quit for yourself. He goes, I am. My gift to you is I'm choosing your birthday as my quit date. I told him then that that was the best present I've ever received, and it would always be the best present I ever received. For 24 hours. On my birthday, we went out for dinner to a steakhouse. I had ordered a glass of wine because at that point I had no reason to believe that I was pregnant. In fact, we were thinking of stopping trying for a while just to help my mental state. And I said to him, this steak tastes terrible. How is yours? He goes, are you kidding? This is delicious. I said, oh, everything tastes like metal. The potato, everything. I hadn't touched the wine. And I went, huh. Now, I was only on day 19 of my cycle. But we stopped at a drugstore. I didn't touch the wine. We got a pregnancy test. And it was positive. And my daughter is now 17 years old. So, thanks, Dad, for the birthday present. So like I said, it's not horribly sad. It's, you know, we knew my father was passing, but something blessed came of it. And, you know, I want that for all of you. I really do. You have the right to be happy. You have the right to feel special. Not all the time. We can't all be special all the time. But I see you. I'd like to hear from you. And while we're on that subject, a note from me. Please hit that subscribe button under there and become one of my subscribers so that we can visit together. And the notification bell, if you hit it, will let you know when I post a new video. I will try at least once a week. I do have some health issues, so I can only do it when I have some energy. And in today's morning, I have some energy. So I wanted to say hi and visit with everyone. And just to let everyone know, you are very special, okay? You really are. And I will end every video the same way. And the reason I say it is I like it. That's it. I like hearing I love you, I value you, I honor you. Because that's what we all need to be. We need to be loved, valued, and honored. And if there's somebody in your life that you haven't said that to recently, maybe try saying it or writing it just in a card, thinking of you. I know we all text and we all use our phones and our screen times, and I think it's great, and it has saved us so much time and energy and things. But the value of a written note can be very special. On the subject of my dad, I remember I used to make lunches for everybody. We used to take turns, but it became my thing. So at night I would make the 5 lunches. And there was one time I was just goofing around and I put a note in his. Roses are red, violets are blue, 'cause you're so cute, I made lunch for you. I didn't think anything of it. When he passed, my mom asked me to help clean out his drawers and his closets with her. And I did, and at the bottom of his drawer, I found that note. I can't believe he kept it. I really can't. And then when we cleaned out my mother's things, we found notes from the 2 of them. So, you know what? Maybe I'll give you a challenge for today, all of us. Think of somebody you want to write a note to, okay? And just a quick note. It doesn't have to be, I love you because, and name the 57 things you love about it. A simple, you were on my mind today and I wanted you to know, and I love you. And I mean this sincerely, and I want you to listen to me. If you can't think of someone to write it to yourself. And I mean that. I'm not being facetious. You deserve to love yourself. It's so hard to do sometimes, you know? You hear about people say, well, you have to love yourself before you can love others, and blah, 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 blah. I've heard that my whole life because I've had a hard time loving myself. But you know what? Love yourself. Tell yourself that you do. It might feel awkward. It's a way of letting yourself know that you matter, and you matter more than you'll ever know. And you have no idea, I guess it's the butterfly effect, how a simple smile to someone on the street can change their day. And they in turn could do something for someone else. One thing that I love to do, drives my husband crazy. If we go to a drive-thru, I love to buy coffee for the people behind me. It just brightens someone's day. And my daughter pointed out to me one day, you know, they're in line so they can afford their own coffee. You're not helping someone who needs the help. Which I finally said, you know what, I don't care. Because who knows, maybe they'll help the person I didn't get a chance to help. Maybe they'll pass it on, and that person will pass it on. We have no idea how far our actions and our gestures will go. So I'm going to leave you for now. I hope this wasn't too all over the place again. I'm really trying not to script my visits with you. I want them to be authentic, just as if you were coming over, you know. I don't sit down with a script when someone comes for coffee and say, so, what have you been doing today? How are you? We don't do that. So I want these to be more like visits. And as I said in my last video, I know I'm a little older than most of the ASMR artists, but think of me as an older sister, a favorite aunt, a mother figure if you want, favorite teacher, whatever. I've learned a few things in my life. I want to share them, and I want to spread as much positivity as I can, okay? And maybe it'll inspire you to, you know, spread your own form of positivity, because we all have it in us. So I will see you soon. I love you, I honor you, and I value you.